I never want to start reviews like this. I hate starting reviews like this. Hey, what's happening, guys? Pragmatic Attitude back with another review. So I just got done watching the new Foo Fighters horror film, Studio 666. So Studio 666 takes place with the Foo Fighters. They move into a new studio that is haunted to record their 10th album. They don't realize that it's haunted, though. It's got a history to it. And this is a film that is written by, well, it's based on a story by Dave Grohl himself. Again, there's not much to this story. That's the plot. The Foo Fighters move in to this studio to record their 10th album. And while they're there, Dave Grohl is going through creator's block. He's not coming up with any good riffs. He's not being creative with musically. He's just kind of, losing his shit. He's kind of acting out and just kind of losing his creative streak. And while they're there, because of the history behind the fucking studio, which there was one band that played there in the 90s, something happened with this other band 20 years ago. And the Foo Fighters is the second band to record in the studio. And same shit kind of happens. They go into the studio now, and they start getting haunted. And while all these supernatural events are occurring, Dave Grohl is becoming slowly more and more obsessed with getting this record done. And he starts using the supernatural events to help him write the album. So this movie, I kind of went into it expecting probably what most people are going to be expecting out of this movie. It's one of those movies where it's like I've slowly kind of been more or less kind of keeping track of it. It's like for the past couple months I'm like, oh yeah, there's that new horror movie from the Foo Fighters that's coming out. And then as weeks went on and it slowly crept closer and closer, I'm like, oh yeah, there's that weird horror movie that the Foo Fighters are doing. It's such a random movie. It's like we get this drought of movies and then there's two decent movies that will probably get a good number of audience, and then the Foo Fighters released a fucking horror movie and the 25th of February. I'm like, the fuck is happening, man? But yeah, I kind of wasn't expecting too much with this movie. From the trailers, it seems like one of those really shitty kind of B horror movies that is not going to take itself too seriously, but maybe fun enough. This movie started pretty fun. I will say this, the movie's got, so this is kind of a mixed bag right here, but the movie's, as far as effects go, the movie's got a fair amount of effects, at least in the beginning, especially from the opening intro of the movie and everything, and I was really kind of grabbed actually by the effects used that they were doing with the blood and the gore and how much they actually went for it in this movie at times, where I'm like, wow, they actually got away with that. Cool. But in saying that, there is a lot of corniness to this movie. Oh my god. And it's not even in the sense of it's a campy movie. It's a bad movie, dude. It's not a B-movie bad movie. This movie kinda sucked. This one was rough. And it sucks because it's Dave Grohl has been in many movies. He was the devil in Tenacious D. They did, what was it, The Sound of the City, that documentary from the Foo Fighters, I think it was, which actually got pretty good reviews and everything. But this movie, again, from the trailers and from the story, it's okay, well, this is probably just going to be some stupid comedic horror movie that the Foo Fighters are just going to have fun with, which it is. But in saying that, oh man, it's really weird bagging on Dave Grohl or the Foo Fighters, but holy shit. I mean, I haven't seen the Foo Fighters film, Sound of the City, or whatever it's called, but these guys can't act, dude. This is just a movie full of cringe, comedy, and just corniness. Again, it's kind of what you expect from a B movie, except it goes to further depths than you are afraid of it going to. But yes, the acting in this movie is really bad. Couldn't really get down with any of the characters. I mean, Dave Grohl, it's weird because it's for what the movie is, for what it's worth, it's kind kind of cute, you know? It's like, okay, well, the Foo Fighters are gonna have this, you know, horror comedy movie, and with the plot, it's kind of adorable. But you watch the movie and it's like, oh, Dave. Oh, dude. And that was my reaction for most of the movie. Like, I'd say, like, majority of the movie was me, like, dropping out the... Because there's a lot of cringe in this movie. There's a lot of humor and a lot of dialogue where you're just like, oof. Ooh. And not even just that, but like the editing in this movie, the directing, it's all pretty much everything in this movie is a very, very, very weird fucking mixed bag. There's a lot of scenes in this movie where it like cuts to the Foo Fighters kind of like jamming out in the studio when they hit that kind of like mark where Dave Grohl, the band, kind of comes up with something cool. But what's weird is like the audio cuts out. So like, I mean, the movie it's a movie. The audio is fine, but like there's many scenes where the Foo Fighters are just ripping, and it like cuts it all the way down, and it's so fucking janky. It's so weird, dude. And that was like the biggest thing is it's like, you know, when you're in a movie theater and you're talking to your friend, you're like, oh, like you're yelling because it's like, you know, the audio is blaring, but like when that things happen, I'm like, and it like echoed. Like it really cuts it down. It was like muffled. It's so fucking weird. I thought that was a really awkward thing that they did with the movie. And another thing, this is like the biggest thing. I mean, with all the editing and directing and acting and cringe and all that stuff that I have issues with, another thing is like the movie is a pretty lengthy time. It's got a pretty lengthy runtime. I don't know how long it is actually, like from the top of my head, but there are times where I'm just like, dude, is this shit almost over? And it's not because it's just a bad movie, but this movie really drags. It doesn't have too much depth to it. It doesn't take itself all that seriously. But in saying that, there's plenty of B movies out there that, you know, are still a fun time. This one, it was just bad. This one was rough. Again, I mean, like, for whatever it's worth, like, for what it was kind of cute, you know? It's kind of cute just for what it was, but it was pretty fucking dumb. It was pretty bad, guys. And the movie just starts to drag. It really starts to drag. And again, yeah, just majority of the movie was just, like, on my end, was just shameful size over the cringe. I'm going to give Studio 666 a 0.2 to a 0.3 out of 10. Oh my god, my lowest review I've ever given on the channel. Fuck! But yes, guys, that is going to do it for this review. Oh boy. This one's rough, guys. I mean, I just went to the fucking haunted museum like 2 days ago. I went to the most haunted museum in the world, and weird shit's kind of been happening. That's for another story, but going into this, I'm like, guys, I need to detox. I need to recuperate. But yes, guys, that is going to do it for my review on Studio 666. Let me know if you guys do see the movie, what you guys think. This is a really rough one, guys. It's a very polarized movie from what I'm seeing as well. And yeah, I got some stories about this one. So hopefully you guys liked the video. I hope you guys are all doing really well. And I will see you guys in the next video. But if you did like the video, let me know what you thought of it down below. And let me know if you guys do see Studio 666, what you guys think of it. Thank you so much, guys, and you guys have a great night. Take care.